Hello guys, ladies and gentlemen, we're here at Alvin Community College, the instructors. We have come up with a fail-proof plan to prevent having a dried turkey for the Thanksgiving holidays and the suffering defeat at the hand of our in-laws around the Thanksgiving table. So without further ado, we're gonna get started. So a lot of people now are starting to go to boneless, skinless turkeys. Sometimes you will get them and they will have the skin already on them. It's pretty easy to remove. You basically just kind of give it a couple tugs and roll it back a little bit, and if at very most you need a knife just to kind of release that. But once the skin is taken off, we can discard that and use that for later. Now, what we're going to do when we smoke a turkey, or any kind of meat for that matter, but especially turkeys, they tend to dry out, especially the breast. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a brine. And what a brine is, basically just a salt and sugary solution that this item will be able to sit in overnight and allow to absorb flavor and moisture. So when we go to a smoking process, which is dry heat, it won't dry the item out. So for any brine, you essentially need salt and you need sugar and you need liquid. So we have about a gallon of ice. I know you're probably thinking, well, I don't really buy ice by the gallon, so it's about a 5-pound bag of ice. We have water here. We have apple cider or apple juice. We'll also sub out. We have some salt and we have black peppercorns. You're probably wondering, that's a little bit basic, and that's okay. This turkey is going to sit in this overnight, and then we'll pull it out and we'll put our own signature barbecue rub on that before going to the kitchen. Now, a lot of us don't have room in our fridge for something this size. I suggest using an ice chest. You put ice in there and you keep this thing. An ice chest will keep items cold up to 24 hours usually. So let's get assembling our brine. So what we're doing is we're just bringing the salt and peppercorns and water to a simmer. This way we can dissolve the salt. We don't want a bunch of granulated salt down at the bottom. And then, in order to help it chill down a little bit faster, we'll take our ice, put it into our container, take our apple cider and or apple juice. Again, you can sub out whatever you like. So really the key is, anytime that we refrigerate anything, we want it to be under 41 degrees. So we don't have our turkey cooking inside of there. We just want it resting and chilling. So. And so now the object is to let this rest overnight, at least 12 hours. If not, a full 24 will be good for it. And again, if you don't have room for this inside one of your refrigerators, good old igloo cooler works out just fine. All right, so now turkey has been brining. We're gonna go ahead and assemble our barbecue rub. If you have one that you like, that's fine. This is just one that we enjoy, and so we'll kind of go over these items that are in it. After you make these batches of barbecue rub or signature rubs, they work great as giveaways. So you can put them in small jars and use them as thank you gifts if people come over to your house for a party, or even stocking stuffers later on. Works out fantastic. So we have some chili powder, we have some paprika, a little bit of ground cumin. I like to use brown sugar. Kosher salt is definitely something that we always use. We have black pepper. Here's some dried thyme, a little bit of dried oregano, cayenne pepper, ground mustard, and then one of my favorites, a little bit of dried ground curry powder. It kind of adds this unique taste and flavor that most traditional barbecue rubs do not have. So after you get everything in here, just feel free to kind of give it all a little mix up. Mainly we want to make sure we're breaking up and distributing the brown sugar. And this will hold for a few months in your pantry as long as it's in a sealed container that doesn't get too much moisture. Again, remember there is brown sugar in it, so if it's been sitting for a while, you do want to go ahead and do this little step again, and now you're ready to use this wonderful rub on anything from poultry, pork. I even like to dust it on top of potatoes in the morning, like if I'm making potatoes in a skillet. Put a little bit of barbecue rub on it. It's fantastic. So with rubbing down a turkey, you want to make sure that you get even rub all over the item. We're going to start with the bottom side down. Do you need to truss up the turkey? In my experience, I found that it's not necessary, because what we're going to do is kind of roll it over itself, and as it's cooking on the pit, it will not come unrolled or anything like that. And so this is what I mean right here, but we just kind of roll it, allow the dust over it. Now that our turkey is well seasoned, let the magic happen inside the pit.
So folks, here we are out by the pit. Now, generally speaking, make sure that you're set at smoking anywhere between 225 and 250 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is kind of a thing that you need to fire up a little bit beforehand. After about 3 hours, we want to go ahead and wrap this. And so we're going to show you that as well. And that will allow the temperature to continue to increase without drying the turkey out. So I'm going to carefully grab this, just set it here in the middle of the rack. And now this turkey is going to sit here for about 2.5 to 3 hours. And then we will demonstrate the wrapping of this product. So over here, we have another turkey that's been smoking for a little bit longer. And this guy is ready to be wrapped up now. So a couple things you want to do is after your turkey has been sitting, this is the bark that we all talk about in barbecue cooking. You want your bark to be set. That means that you could essentially run a utensil, run your finger over it, and you're not going to remove all the seasoning that we have put on there. The bark is now set. So we will take butcher's paper, put our turkey into it, cover it with a little bit of butter, wrap it up tight, return it to the pit, or even at that point, it could go into your oven just to make sure that it continues cooking if you don't want to be out at the pit the whole day. So. This is going to add a little bit more richness and a little bit of moisture in there as the turkey continues to cook. A lot of us will use butcher's paper for a few reasons. It still allows the item to continue to cook without smothering it, like aluminum foil would. It allows a little bit of evaporation, but it slows it down so the item does not completely dry out. And so at this point, we'll go ahead and close the pit. We'll leave it on until it reaches an internal temperature of 165 degrees. All right, folks, so here we are. Our turkey is out. It is ready to be carved. Now, you want to make sure you let your turkeys rest a little bit, right? You want to allow all those juices to kind of settle, otherwise you start carving it and juices start running out. What you want to look for when you're carving a turkey, remember this one is boneless, but you do want to kind of take note. You'll see kind of the grain of the turkey here. So we want to cut across that. We don't want to be cutting with that. If we cut with it, what that will end up with is giving us a very stringy cuts. You'll see that especially in briskets. If people are not cutting against grain, you get like really long, almost like tobacco strips of brisket, which are not very easy to eat. So same thing will transfer to your turkeys. It's not quite as pronounced, but you definitely want to kind of be aware of that when you're carving. And then all we're going to do is just kind of get through that bark a little bit, and you can see beautifully smoked turkey. And again, thin to win on these things, right? You don't need to go very large honking slices, and your guests are going to absolutely love you, and they'll keep coming back. So you may not want to do this if you don't like entertaining. So happy holidays, everybody.